Absolutely incredible. Every single person's contributed to that. Absolutely outstanding.
A truly incredible night at Northampton Sixfields Stadium, Wednesday the 18th of May 2022, a date the Stags will never forget.
John Joe O'Toole wins it in the midfield for Mansfield. 4 for Akins. Needs to find a pass. Here is Stephen Quinn. Stephen Quinn will be onside. Hewitt though, he's onside. Ball it towards the end. Get it in! Put ahead. Get in there! We're at come on! Stephen Quinn was in enough. What a goal! But Elliot Hewitt wasn't. Stayed onside. Rolling into the middle. Brought back to nil. Stags 1.
Terrific from JJ there. Absolutely brilliant. Into Atkins. Atkins put a scripture ball through. Quinn was offside. And intelligently he left it. Hewitt was onside, got onto it, pulled the ball back, and Macca made the run across, and that's why I think he's the best attacking left back in this league. And what a great finish. And what a position this puts him. This has come from us calming the game down, picking a sting out the game. Absolutely fantastic. What a great time to score. Now it's important. Now it's important for the next 10 minutes that we are solid.
That's it! That's up to Wembley! Mansfield Town have done it! They've beaten Northampton Town by 3 goals to 1 on aggregate. Book your tickets. The Stags are going to Wembley. Come on!
And there's no real intro needed here tonight on the back of that. That's why we're here. We're all proud beyond belief. This is the place to share all of that emotion, your pride, your joy, your memories of a phenomenal night singing in the rain. So come and have your say on your team. This is the Mansfield Matters podcast, and we're off to Wembley! Oh my goodness, what a night it was last night at Sixfields Stadium. The Stags off to Wembley for the playoff final, League 2 playoff final. We're going to find out who against tonight as Port Vale take on Swindon. We'll talk about that in a bit more detail later on, but first, let's cross over to some fans. Oh yeah, Cam's here with me, by the way. Forgot to mention that. Let's cross over to a couple of fans who were also in the rounds at Sixfields Stadium last night. Let's say good evening to Mr. Clive Parker. Good evening, how are you? Well?
Good evening, everybody. I'm absolutely delirious.
Well, you're always delirious, Clive, but what about after last
Deliriously
night?
happy.
Seriously happy. There you go. Deliriously happy. Another man as well who is happy is Mr. Alan Wilson. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Craig, Cam, Clive, and good evening, everybody. I'm very well, thank you.
Jolly good. It's good to see you as always. Good to see everyone. Now, obviously, you'll notice that I'm here. Cam's here. You all right?
All right.
Yeah, you all right?
Just about.
Just about. Alan's here. Clive's here, but Nathan's not here. Now, we need all 5 of us on the podcast, and Nathan was due to join us on the show, but he's had a bit of an operation of late, and he messaged us about 5 minutes before the show, and, there was something wrong with him. And we are going to try and get him on the phone in a second, and then I'm going to put a picture on screen. But whilst I do that, I need to just change some settings very, very quickly. So whilst I do, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Alan Wilson to talk us through his views on last night's game.
Well, got there, enjoyed myself, got lined up for the to go into the stand. Everybody was being searched. When I got there, it just, funnily enough, he just said, "You're all right, mate. Carry on, go through." So
well,
went
I'd
and
expect
got it.
nothing less. Can you still hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. There you go. That's almost seamless. Almost seamless. Shall we try and ring Nathan? We'll try and see what
Why
happens.
not?
Now, he won't be able to hear you or Clive because I've not got it rigged up that way, but he will be able to hear me and Cam. He might be able to actually hear through the speaker, actually, but be a bit distorted. Now, we've not planned this with Nathan. We've not sent him a text or anything to let him know. So this is what's going to happen. In fact, he's ringing me now, so we'll see what happens. Good evening, Mr. Nathan Edge. How are you?
Evening, I'm not too bad.
That's jolly good. You need to take those off, mate, so I can hear Nathan as well. So, yeah, just it is. It is all good now. Just turn the volume right up, mate, so we can. So it almost acts like a speaker. This wasn't planned, Nate, so it's all a bit last minute. How are you? Are you okay?
I mean, I could be better. Obviously the wins. I'm buzzing from that, but during the goal celebrations, obviously. I had an operation last week, and I think I might have split a few stitches. So yeah,
Now, can I
I'm
just
feeling the effects today.
check by virtue of a thumbs up or a nod of the head? Can Alan and Clive both hear Nathan?
Yes.
Excellent work. Well, Nath, there's no escaping the podcast now because we've managed to hook you up via mobile communication device.
I mean, I can't hear you, so I've just thought I don't know. I thought if I go, I might get my stuff ready, and I'm just going to join without a camera. So
I mean,
I'll be with you in a minute.
Can you not hear me?
Not very well.
I just need to turn it up a bit. Turn it up a bit. Ramp it up a bit. Gain at the top. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, son? Can you hear me now?
I can. There's a little bit of a buzzing in the background, but yeah, I can hear you.
Well, you can get your stuff if you want, but it's entirely up to you. But we're going to share this photo that you've sent us anyway. So I'll talk to people about what's on the screen now. We'll come on to all the Wembley stuff in a bit. We want to embarrass you first. There's a picture of you lying face down on the floor on some sort of like mattress type thing. What's all that about?
I'm in Oliver's playroom. It's his soft play ramp. That's what I'm playing on.
So you're lying on Oliver's soft play ramp?
Yes.
Why? Explain to the people at home why.
Because I've had an operation on my lower back, basically. So because I've potentially pulled the stitches during the celebrations, I'm feeling a lot of pain today and I can't sit down. So I'm on my front for the day.
Oh dear. Well, it's entirely up to you what you want to do. If you want to come on with no camera, that's absolutely fine. We've explained to people at home what it's like. We might give you a ring back later on, but we just wanted to get you on the podcast because it's, I don't know if you heard or not, but we're going to Wembley.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
Did you not? No, well, there you go.
Someone should have mentioned it.
Bearers of good news. Right, we're going to let you go, and then we might catch you on the show later on with no camera, but we just wanted to get you on and get you a part of it because, last night was a great night. So
I'll see you soon.
Don't split your back too much, and we'll see you in a little bit.
See you in a bit.
Goodbye. Turn that page down now. That's all good. Not that one. The other one. That one. That's the one. Oh dear. So Nathan H there, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to hear from him, and I'm sure we all send him our well wishes at home, don't we, as well, Clive?
We do indeed, and I feel sorry for the lad. There's nothing worse than not being able to sit down.
Keep talking.
Well, why is that then? Oh, well.
I had to change my settings over.
I thought you might be interested in what I got to say.
Here at the Mansfield Matters podcast, always bending over backwards for all us friends.
I know. There you go. Happy days. Right. Shall we delve into some comments? I imagine there's loads coming up. By the way, there's no structure or what even planned for this show tonight. We just thought we'd come on and ramble because
we didn't think we were going to do it.
Exactly. We sort of planned it about half an hour ago, so it's all good fun. It all came together then. So cheers, everyone. Hope you've got your cup of tea.
Cheers.
It's a nice Wembley for us. Right, let's delve into some comments, shall we? Cheryl kicks us off tonight saying, "Come on, you stags." Mark says, "Hi, guys. Hope everyone is well. Just about to watch the Swindon Vale game. Who would you guys rather face in the final? And what's your reasons for your choice?" Personally, I don't mind either way, as I think we have the tools to beat either team. Let's start with Alan Wilson. Who would you rather face, Port Vale or Swindon?
Swindon. Because I think they've only got really one player of any note who's any good. And I think Nigel, with being very astute as he is with his management skills, he'll just man-mark him out of the game.
Clive, what about you? Swindon or Port Vale?
Swindon. Several reasons. One, I think Wallace can wipe McCurdy out early on. Secondly, if we succeed and get through, we get promoted, then we won't be playing Swindon next year. And if we don't, and we lose to them, we won't be playing Swindon next year. So that's why I want it to be Swindon. And I've got a bit more of an affection for teams like Port Vale, what they and their fans have been through. I think we all sympathise with that.
Well, I've not just brought you here to drink my tea and push buttons on that desk. I'll get your opinion as well. Port Vale or Swindon?
Personally, Swindon. I think you look back at the game at the county ground earlier this season, it was unlucky to be a 1-0 loss. Obviously, Tyree Sinclair's free kick did cross the line and it was missed, so a little bit of injustice there. But then, obviously, we then played them just after the third round of the FA Cup, and until conceding late on, wiped the floor with them for most of the evening, and Mansfield just played absolutely out their skins. Jordan Bowery, George Maris, Reece Oates on a driving run to get that penalty. Stephen McLaughlin finishing it off with a very powerful penalty. So I just think all around, I think we've just got more over Swindon. I think they'll have a point to prove that they'll want to beat us, but I think we've done it once, we can do it again. And I think, keep McCurdy quiet, and Swindon are a bit inconsistent.
My reasons are different, but my team is exactly the same. Swindon again for me. I think looking at the way Port Vale have played against us twice this season, they play some really good attacking football, and I think Mansfield sometimes really struggle to deal with that. They play with 3 centre halves, and quite often the right side centre half and left side centre half act as wingers, and they push really high and test Mansfield. I don't think that the Stags game suits going against a Port Vale side. I'd like to see Port Vale get to the final for Darryl Clark and for what he's been through on a personal level this season. But in terms of giving ourselves the best chance to try and get to League One.
Sorry, Vale have just missed an absolute sitter.
I'd have to say Swindon. Yeah, Cam's watching the Port Vale game as we go along as well.
We're boring you, Cam.
I know. Let's delve into some more comments. Roy says, unfortunately, I won't be able to make it to Wembley. Oh no! But what a great night. Great game and saw it out very well indeed. Mark says, was at a table tennis tournament, so missed the game. Watched it this morning on the replay. Awesome defensive display. Aikens superb for me. Hawkins incredibly winning everything. Jamie says, I was very worried about the team last night, but we pulled it off. Let's talk about that actually, Alan. Yeah, when we saw the team news last night, I think we're all a little bit miffed, weren't we, at one stage?
Yeah, I'm going to say, when I saw the team, Craig, I just didn't like the look of it. But then, thinking about it only took me 5 or so minutes thinking about it. I thought, it's horses for courses, isn't it? That's what the squad's there for. And it did exactly what it said on the tin. I thought they played very, very well indeed.
Yeah, he mixed it up a little bit last night, didn't he, Clive, as well? I mean, first time that Hawkins and Purchase actually played together as a centre-half pair, and I thought they dealt with it relatively well once they settled into the game.
I thought it was a cracking pick. I mean, I was really pleased to see Hewitt back in the team. I think he adds quality and a little bit of pace. And what a revelation to put O'Toole where he's wanted to be all season. Put him ahead of the defence. I think he had a cracking game there, and it's an indicator where we might be going next season with him. Yeah,
there's lots of options in there, of course, with him. And then Kieran Wallace was there as well. Let's bring in the injured Stag, who's not going to be joining us in terms of video, but he is there with audio. Nate, can you hear us?
I can indeed. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. The injured Stag with us as well. What did you make of the team selection last night? We're just talking a little bit about that. When we saw it, we were thinking, we may be setting up a little bit overly defensively, but actually it was a tactical masterclass in the end from Nigel Clough.
Yeah, it was. I mean, speaking to everybody in the pub sort of before the match when the team news came out, everybody was assuming we was going with a back 5 or back 3 and 2 wing backs. And I kept saying, no, John Joe's going to midfield, because I said it on the podcast, didn't I, the other night? Yeah. I said I'd move him into midfield. I said, and I'd put Hewitt right back and move Perch in middle. But everyone was saying, no, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. I was like, you wait. But I doubted myself. I was like, that's not going to happen. So based on going at 5 and looking at the team selection, I did think it was going to be a bit negative and not necessarily going to work. But by God, did they? First of all, obviously we was wrong with the formation anyway. I think most guessed, but did they also prove us wrong? The ones that you had question marks over, the likes of Aikens, etc. It didn't really matter how well we played. It was the effort to a man. Every single player on that pitch left everything, and that's what. Even if we lost, I think that's all we wanted, wasn't it?
It's a Stonewall pen.
Yeah, sorry, Nick. Just for context, me and Cam are both watching the Port Vale game at the same time, and there was a penalty decision against Samal.
It's a Stonewall penalty. He's jumped with his arms miles up here, and it's blocked. It's Stonewall pen, but.
This shows how little attention we're paying to tonight's show, really. It's just all put together because we're all joyous at being at Wembley. Clive, talk to me a little bit about last night's midfield. To be honest, that's more funny than that, to be fair. So talk to me more about the midfield last night, because like you say, John Joe in that midfield. Kieran Wallace there as well. He's another one of those players that people are a little bit dubious about. I know he went in for a flying tackle, and some Northampton fans think he should have got his marching orders for it. But I actually thought he had a steady game for us.
He had a great game, I thought, and quietly influential as well. The thing about that tackle is I've looked at it several times, and on any other day, another referee would have broke his arm in his effort to get the red card out quickly to it, because it was one of those tackles that looked like a red card, didn't it? And the lad came down in two heaps it came down in. So I think we did get away with a bit last night, but by God, haven't we been waiting for that? Because we've had no rub of the green where officials have been concerned all season. So it was nice to get a little bit of a comeback, really, on official decisions last night.
Yeah.
But I think he made a splendid addition to the side. And in fact, I know it sounds like a platitude now, but everybody in the side worked their socks off. And that's what most fans want, is every player to play like it matters. And they did. And the irony is, probably the least influential player last night was our best player of the season, Oates. But there again, it wasn't a game for Oates, was it? He got very little in the way of service. It wasn't his sort of game. But he was contributing. He was making a pest of himself. He was taking two defenders with him when he did try and get anything away. So I can't fault the team last night. I can't fault any individual player. And you've got to give credit to Clough and his management team on picking a slightly unusual format. But didn't it work, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he gets paid the big bucks for, Cam.
Yeah, it does. So it's very off-putting watching this game currently. Yes,
I can help you with that.
Yeah, let's put it down there. Put it down there, Attaway. Yeah, Vale's just scored, so 2-1 in that. But
yeah, let's concentrate on Mansfield, because Mansfield matters. Let's not forget that. Right, I'll help you out by delving into some comments.
Go on then.
Why do I invite him on? Why? I mean, I spent all season watching Hollyoaks, and just because we got to Wembley, he turns up, Nathan. It's shocking, isn't it?
Well, he turns up and he's still watching something on telly.
Yeah. Disgraceful. Oh yeah, by the way, right, I've gone out of my way to pick him up tonight, wasting my petrol. He could have just gone round to Alan's house.
Yeah, true.
No, Alan would have.
Alan's like, no, thank you.
Nah, always welcome, Cam. Always welcome.
Thank you.
Nathan says, not our Nathan, in the comments, Nathan. What a night. My wife broke her glasses during the first goal, so must have been sharing the same excitement as Nathan. Everyone was solid, says Chris. Greg says, I think I speak for everyone in the Mansfield Matters community when I say Craig, Alan, Clive, Nathan, and no, just Nathan. I can't say anyone else's name there. Deserve a big thanks for providing us with great content, listening to all our thoughts and putting a smile on our faces all season. So thank you, gents. See you at Wembley. Absolutely. Yeah, really looking forward to seeing you all at Wembley.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, Jamie says
thank you, Greg.
Northampton players were just diving all over the place. How influential, Nathan Edge, was your favourite player's goal on 31 minutes?
I mean, I think it was massive to get past, get through the first 15 minutes first of all. So that was important, especially Bishop's save in the opening second. So let's not sort of underestimate what a difference that made. But getting that goal, I mean, can you imagine what that second half would have been like if we hadn't got that? It was nerve-wracking as it was. So to get that goal the way we did was superb, and it was a man of the moment. The player who I've never had any doubts with whatsoever, always had belief in, and I chose as my player of the season. As well, I think everyone did, to be fair. But what a goal! And on that, obviously, I got my injury, and I know someone obviously mentioned there with a glass as well. During the goal, about 10 minutes afterwards, I realised I'd lost my cane and my coat because it was on my chair.
How do you?
And I realised that we had actually all moved down a seat. Nobody'd even noticed. So I'm wondering who the missing person is. Like, where's that person gone? If we'd all moved down a seat and nobody noticed. So yeah, it's just to summarise it, like that's what happened. Like I lost my cane, my coat, and some stitches in the process. But it's worth it. I'll do it again.
Oh mate, it could only happen to you, couldn't it? Could only happen to you. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Superb. And it was Macca to deliver it. I mean, what a guy.
Oh dear. Well, we're going to get some reaction from James Perch and Nigel Clough in a second, but I think Nathan made a good point there, Alan, about Nathan Bishop. Because Nigel Clough mentioned it in his interview as well. We needed to go there and keep a clean sheet. Northampton had kept 21 clean sheets all season. Their keeper, 16 at home. And people were, I don't know, starting a little bit to doubt Nathan Bishop, wrongly in my opinion. But he got a clean sheet at the perfect time. And honestly, I think that Nathan Bishop had probably his best game in a Mansfield shirt last night. He was commanding. He came and collected everything that was there. He was in the right position at the right time, slowed things down when he needed to, bowled it out short when he needed to as well. An excellent display from him last night.
I just think 3 words that you said there, Craig, it epitomised what Bish did last night, calm and collected. He made a fantastic save in the first minute or so. But to be fair, after that, apart from a few blocks from Mansfield, they huffed and puffed. But I don't think they really troubled us, to be fair. I weren't there, on edge of seat like this. It just, Mansfield had enough to beat them on the day. And we beat them fair and
I think you've got to recognise, Alan, that what we did successfully last night was to snuff out whatever potency they had. Because they've scored goals for fun this season through a number of key players. But every player put their body behind the ball last night. I lost count of the number of blocks that we put in. And that's sort of the spirit you want. And at that point, of course, they had to score 3 goals to beat us on the night. And they were never going to score 3 goals last night.
And did everybody else cheer when they took 21 off? Because I thought they were their best player.
Kieran Wallace take a bow because he completely took him out of the game, and that completely killed their game.
I would say we're all chuffed bits round us.
Kieran Wallace needs to have some photographs of McCurdy on his wall, I think, between now and Wembley.
I think what epitomises what we did well last night was the fact that Northampton had 14 shots in the entire game. They had actually only had 1 on target though, which just shows how defensively solid we were. And that 1 on target,
that'd have been the first minute, wouldn't it? When
it's the first minute, and Bish pulls off an absolute worldie.
But I don't recall Mansfield ever putting up a better defensive performance at a very important time like they did yesterday.
Yeah, an absolute critical defensive display. Let's go back to some more comments. Wasn't the celebrations by the players and management awesome? Such a togetherness, says Susan. Now, Nath, obviously, as we know, we take the Mickey out of you sometimes because of the fact that you can't see and all of this stuff. But I think it's probably in these circumstances sometimes. You know what? I watch the videos, but I close my eyes and just listen to the noise. That must be a great feeling to hear the noise that's generated in the dressing room and sense that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking there about the defensive display, and you wouldn't think I'd sort of really be able to appreciate it the same way you did. But actually, it's despite the atmosphere, the amount of thuds I heard as we're putting in a block, it was actually really noticeable, even for me that had whilst I had no commentary or anything like that. So I'm basically there for the atmosphere and so on. But I could still, even by the sound of, like say, the thuds as we're getting all the blocks and stuff, fully appreciate what sort of defensive display was actually putting on. So there's all of that, and obviously we've got the atmosphere there anyway. This singing, which I think all season, actually, I feel like we've always been a pretty good set of fans, most of the time, especially away from home. But this season's been something special, and I think to go, I think to go to Northampton again like we did in numbers and sing all the way through, just made it that more special occasion like it has been for so many.
Jamie in the comments, Clive says, didn't we look better with Hewitt on the right-hand side? I know you were a big advocate of bringing him back in, and I think he really did solidify us last night. Come on, Cam, thank you. I felt we just looked a little bit more assured down there. And again, it showed, didn't it, for the goal? Quinn's in an offside position, but he shouts across to him, leave it, or words to that effect. Hewitt gets the burners on, gets in behind, low ball inside, and we get the goal from it. And then Perch looks much more natural in the centre of the park anyway.
Yeah, I thought I've argued that whenever we play with the defensive lineup, I would want to see it would have Hewitt in there. He's proved to be a very competent defender, but he's got that turn of pace as well, and he just put some killing balls in, and that's important. I think we've missed that, and it's no mistake we had 2 clean sheets when he was in the squad, and then they changed the back lineup, and we didn't get clean sheets. In fact, we shipped 2 goals in each of those games. So I don't hold it all down to that, but it's no coincidence in my book that we're better when he's in the side. By the way, when we scored, and bear in mind I'm behind the goal where we were scored, I didn't know it was Macca that put it in.
Funny you should say that.
I thought it was Bowery, and I couldn't. And then I said, "We
Macca.
go by Bowery," and the bloke said, "It weren't Bowery." I says, "Who was it then?" He says, "I don't know, but it weren't Bowery."
I mean, imagine thinking it was like Oates or someone as well. That would just be crazy, wouldn't it?
Well, that was.
Bye, Nathan. Don't need that negative. I don't need that negativity in this show. No.
That's not negativity. That's 100% sarcasm.
Oh well, it's, do you know what? No, honestly, it's the position that you'd expect Oates to be in. And to be honest, I couldn't see a thing down that side because the Northampton fans were standing up and tight. I just saw it go in the back of the net, and that's all I cared about.
It was a good goal. That was the main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the main thing was a goal.
Yeah, that's
it was a good goal as well.
The clean sheet was important, but for me, getting the goal was even more important because the longer it went on, the more they would have come at us at 0-0, and we really, really needed that. Let's go some more comments. Paul says, "Nice to hear you've got your voice back after last night, Craig. Up the Stags, roll on Wembley." And I'm going to write to Facebook to start paying you for your appearances on Mansfield Matters. We have all the soaps on nearly 5 days a week, and we should have the Craig Priest show anyway. Let's all enjoy the Wembley show. It's going to be exciting. Now, I appreciate the lovely comments, but it's never and will never be the Craig Priest show. It's all about all of us, including Cam, when he eventually, decides to galvanise himself. There you go. and turn up for a show. There you go. It's all about all of us, but we appreciate your kind words as well. Paul also adds that we should have a Walking in Memphis as a Stags playoff final song. Now, you came up with a good idea earlier, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Obviously, it's 10 years since Mansfield Town last marched up Wembley way, 11-12 season.
2011,
no,
so it's not.
Oh, it's 11 years.
I'm just supposed to be the one that's had at maths.
It's over 10
Good
years
effort.
anyway. But point is, we had a Wembley song for then, so we were thinking, do we create a song for this year? And
now, I mean, me and Nathan have got a history of coming up with lyrics to certain songs, but we can never share them, can we, Nathan? Because they're always the lyrics are a little bit,
I don't know what you're on about. I mean, the Dion Donoghue song was an absolute hit, but it's just not been heard by anybody.
I'm thinking about the Christmas version of Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time.
Yeah, or the 12 Days of John Dempsey. Yeah. Let's leave them there.
But we have got one man in this group who loves a ditty, loves creating things, created the Biscuit song, of course. That's Alan Wilson. Now, Cam's got a point. We had a Wembley song last time we went there. Alan loves a ditty. Clive's in for anything. Nathan likes writing lyrics. I think we should do a Mansfield Matters version of Walking in Memphis. What are you saying, Mr. Wilson? If could you work on it?
Consider it done.
Yes, that's what we like to hear.
I thought Alan only knew the one tune though. Is that a bit of a problem?
No, I can put anything to any tune, Mr. Edge.
Okay, then challenge. There's your challenge.
Challenge
I
accepted.
I have to say, lads, I watched the video of the Stags players doing their rendition of Walking in Memphis after the game. I'm glad they tackle better than they sing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, it took about a minute of listening to it to realise what song they were singing, to be honest. But I don't care. They can do what they like.
Only a minute.
So what are we saying then? I think we definitely should come up with a Mansfield Matters version of Walking in Memphis.
Well, I think that's a good starting point. Unless we come up with something better, then why not make it Walking in Memphis? It's now gathering a bit of momentum, isn't it?
It is. And I think that's the point, Nate, isn't it? I think if you can take the song which the players have clearly got an affinity for and turn it, utilise that. Why not?
Well, we'll see. I mean, let's not build this up too much. This is us we're talking about, so I wouldn't expect too much. Oh, it's not going to be an Eminem / Ed Sheeran hit, is it?
Now, Alan, Nathan in the comments, Nathan and Paige have already started you off. So, put on my yellow suede shoes and I boarded the train, touched down in the land of the yellow and blue, in the middle of the pouring rain. Ivan Hollett won't you look down over me. Yeah, I got a season ticket, but I'm as yellow as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Mansfield, was walking with my feet 10 feet off the mill, walking in Mansfield, but do we really feel the way we feel? Something like that might work to start you off, Alan. Get your notebook out, get that written down, because I think that's a very good starting point.
That's actually pretty decent, that.
Yeah, we'll edit in some, because we need a little bit of iconic commentary, don't we? So we'll see if the BBC are available to give us theirs. And, we'll
I've just thought of a lyric that could work, because if you've got Memphis, you replace that with benches, and you could have something like, "I've seen Johnson on benches," because that's where he's been all this season, isn't it?
Nah, it's got to be. He's got to get. I mean, we're gonna have to have a think about this, about what we want to get in. We've definitely got to get those Stags who aren't with us anymore, sadly, in there. So I think it's perfect about Ivan Hollett. Definitely got to get something about the people who've been influential off the pitch and been cheerleaders for us. So we've definitely got to get Stecky in there somewhere, and then we've got to get Mansfield, the line Mansfield Matters in there, and also, Alan, I think Nathan, we've got to get him to get the word galvanised, solidified, and toxicity in there as well, haven't we?
I think we can. I think we can do without.
You're asking
those.
a lot of the lyric writer.
Yeah, we don't need toxicity in there. We've got rid of that. That's gone. That's gone.
Can I just say that Delta Blues and all that sort of stuff, I mean, it is a particular type of theme, and I don't see how you can work with that on Mansfield so much. We don't have much of a Delta culture in Mansfield, do we? But having said that, Alan can turn his song to anything.
I mean, I can already see the cogs ticking.
I think we should first of all, dress him up as Cher. That would help.
Oh, no, I was going for the Marc Cohen version, but if you want to see him in a frock, that's your own business.
Yeah, all right.
Leave it with me.
We will. I'll tell you what, we'll give you a couple of minutes to start thinking about it. Get the tune in your head. Whilst we do that, we're going to have a quick look at the Port Vale game. And let's get some reaction from last night, as I spoke to both James Perch and first, the gaffer, the third manager ever in Mansfield's history to lead us to Wembley, Nigel Clough.
Nigel, congratulations, you booked your space at Wembley.
Yeah, hard work, but I think it was an incredible effort by the players throughout the game tonight, over the 2 legs and over the last 8 months. But I thought tonight we were very, very good indeed in denying the opposition a lot of opportunities.
Defensively, was that one of the best performances from your sides this season?
Yes, to keep a clean sheet, certainly. But it started at the front. I thought Quinny and Oatsy started that off, and then I thought Jordan and Lucas, doing their defensive duties, were outstanding tonight in wide areas.
Yeah, the fans were immense as well behind that goal. You saw the scenes at full-time whistle. What's the scenes like in the dressing room?
I don't know. I'll come out to talk to you.
Well, we thank you for that. I imagine they're absolutely as immense as what they were in the stands. What does it say about your squad and the journey that they've been on this season? Because when we came here earlier in the season, it was the lowest ever, you said.
Yeah, we were. We were absolutely down and out. And we then put an incredible performance in on the Tuesday against Port Vale, and everything picked up from there. But, in 7 or 8 months to turn it around, that we're going to Wembley, I think the players deserve, and staff and everybody deserve, a huge amount of credit to that degree. Because, when you're joint bottom of the league after nearly a third of the season, then to reach Wembley, we've still got a job to do there, but to actually reach Wembley, that's just incredible achievement.
There are a fair few surprises in the starting lineup tonight in terms of personnel and where they sat. What was the thinking behind that? John Joe O'Toole usually been playing at centre half for you, but we know can do a job in midfield. Kimson sits alongside Kieran Wallace, who I thought was another excellent player for you tonight.
We've tossed around with the team and thought and discussed ever since Saturday, and we just thought that was the right team tonight. I didn't think it was going to be a particular night for our players, Matty Longstaff and Ryan Stirk and Jamie Murphy, so we couldn't get them on. It was about picking a team to win the game, to do a job tonight, which they did.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nathan Bishop, clean sheet for him tonight. The most important clean sheet I think he'll ever keep.
The most important save was after 30 seconds of the game, or a minute of the game, where he tipped one. If they get a goal, then it's a whole different ball game tonight. But I thought his positioning, his handling, his kicking, everything was good tonight. He's just played 48 plus cup games. He's played over 50 games this season for the first time in his life. It's been a brilliant experience for him.
Perchy, congratulations. Your hometown club going to Wembley.
Oh, it's brilliant, honestly. It means so much to us as players, us as the fans, the club, people around the ground in Mansfield. it means the world. We've put in a right shift there for 2 games and got our results and got the reward.
And when you guys were here earlier in the season, I know you didn't play much of a part in that one with the injury and what have you, but obviously you knew how the boys reacted. Did you ever think from that point you could get to this point where you are now?
You know what, it's funny because we always believed that what the gaffer was telling us was right. We knew when we got our players back fit, we knew we could go on runs like we have done this season, break records and get up the table. We knew it was good enough as a squad.
My heart rate's just getting back to normal after commentating on it. What was it like to play in it? Because it looked like an absolute battle out there.
Yeah, it was. We knew it was going to be a battle coming to Northampton. They sling the ball in from everywhere, but I think it was immense defensively, not just as a back 4, back 5, but as a team. Jordan's put a right shift, Lucas has, which has ran himself into the ground. It was just an all-round great team performance.
You've been dragged out of the dressing room to do this, so I apologise that you've got to waste 4 minutes of your life talking to me. What's the celebrations like in there?
Oh, it was crazy straight after the final whistle. You can tell by my voice has gone a little bit, a lot of shouting, a lot of singing. The chairman came in, which was nice, shook everyone's hand. It was just all around celebrations.
Yeah, and of course, you'll have a couple of days of celebration. Nigel Clough said he's going to take you all out for a well-deserved pint over the next couple of days, and then the hard work starts again next week.
So that's it. We've got 9-10 days to the final. The gaffer's going to take us out tomorrow for some food and a drink. We're playing golf in the morning, and just relaxing, just get back down to reality. We can't let it overtake us and carry on until next week. We know we've got a few days now where we can enjoy ourselves, but once next week comes, we're back to work.
How key was that goal tonight from Stephen McLaughlin?
It was massive. Looking back now, we didn't need it in the end, but just that goal puts a dagger into them. It kills them a little bit, takes the stuffing out of them, and that's what we come to do. Like I said before on Sky, the gaffer sets us up to go and score the goals. He doesn't come here to sit back and protect the lead. On the front foot, trying to score goals, and that's what we did.
Got to talk about the man behind you tonight, Nathan Bishop's 16th clean sheet of the season, probably the most important one. In fact, no probably about it.
No, he's absolutely brilliant tonight. Bish was commanding, came and caught balls. He was confident. His kicking was brilliant, and he's been good for us all season. He's been top class, and no one was at Man U. He's at Man U for a reason.
That's James Perch and Nigel Clough speaking to me after the game from Mansfield 103.2 with their excellent post-match reaction. Nice to hear them buzzing as well. We'll come on to that reaction in a little while, but first just want to clear a few things up. Susan in the comments has asked, do you know where to get the travel tickets for the SSA from? And David's replied as well. There's a little bit of misinformation there from David, as I believe. So I'm just going to clarify what I know. The SSA will be selling travel tickets for their coaches, and therefore no booking will be required. So you don't need to ring up, you don't need to text. All you need to do is purchase a travel ticket. Now, said travel tickets will be put on sale. I think early next week, I would presume, and it'll probably be the club where you can purchase them from. Just bear with the SSA. I know that they're getting a lot of inundated with messages on Facebook and text messages and phone calls as well. Remember, it's a volunteer-led organisation, and they're doing the best at the moment to organise those coaches, and they'll communicate as soon as they can via all channels and via this channel as well to let people know where you can get those travel tickets from. You all right, Clive? You just sort of disappeared then for a minute. Are you all right? Did you...
I've decided I'm going headphoneless like the rest of you.
Fair play.
I have to change my settings. And
fair play. Don't worry. We usually wouldn't, but obviously with us being two of us, I couldn't. You have to move things around and stuff, so it's all good. Lastminute.com is what this podcast is all about. Nathan, you heard there from James Perch and Nigel Clough. Let's start with James Perch. It's, I saw the genuine pride on his face last night when we were doing the interview, and he was struggling to hold back the tears at times because it's been a real struggle for him this season at times. And to go from, thinking that he may never play again to potentially captaining his hometown club at Wembley, presuming Ollie Clark doesn't start, that's a massive swing of emotions.
Yeah, I was literally thinking that when, whilst he was doing that interview, and I listened to it. I mean, how fitting it is that he's out there doing that interview because it wasn't that many months ago. I remember being outside the 1861 suite at Stags. I can't remember what game it was, but it wasn't long after he got his injury, and it was then where he was sort of saying that it was looking like he was going to be out for the season, and obviously then you realise at sort of his age that could have been, career ending, and what a rubbish way to sort of go out. So for him to make his return and be not just like, be on the bench, he's actually been a real key part of it, especially in this last sort of 10 games or so. When you add that into the mix, that he's, a local lad and everything like that, it's perfect really. And let's just hope that it can all, that'll be that one step further, and he can captain us at Wembley and take us up into League One.
It's certainly something we all dream of, isn't it, Clive?
Yeah, it's not something that's going to happen very often at our level, and certainly I'm running out of years to experience these things, so bring it on. I'm happy for it. I'm not going to be happy paying all the bloody money that they'll want for a ticket, but then again, thankfully I can justify it. But it's going to be a great day. I mean, it'll be a great, even better day if we come away having won. But I think the trick here is to enjoy it anyway. One thing's for sure, it's bound to be a better footballing occasion than the last time we were there in the trophy final, which was a dreadful affair.
Christ, yeah, that was a really bad one. It was a shocker, but I'm sure we're in a much better shape than we were then, Alan. But this time around, going to Wembley, fighting it out for a place in League One. Similarly to last night's second leg, there won't be any expectation on us either, will there? Considering of where we come at, I think we'll go into it with that lack of expectation. I think that might bode well in some respects.
And I think it'll be interesting, Craig. Obviously, we won't know the answer to this. There's only Nigel and probably Andy Gardner and maybe Crosby know the answer to this next question. But depending on who we play, they'll probably have two different lineups as well, to play against them, one against Vale and one against Swindon. So it should be interesting, the 11 players that he actually puts out onto the pitch, because, it is a squad game, like we've said, and they all did immensely well last night. And whoever gets in, it was nice to see Ollie Clark get on as well. Even though it was the last few minutes, it was really nice to see him back out, I thought.
Yeah, he's still got a part to play as the Stags captain. Vicky in the comments says, will I be able to get my tickets from the shop, or will it be online like I've told her? I think you're talking about actual match tickets. I believe, obviously, because at this current moment, as we talk at 21 minutes past 8, it will be, we don't know who's going to be playing, because it is 2-2 on aggregate at the minute. So details will be released on that tomorrow. But I presume it will all be done online, Cam. It looks like it's all going to be done through Ticketmaster.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's what I'd heard. I'd heard Ticketmaster, but I mean, I could be wrong.
And does being a Ticketmaster customer demand that you are internet savvy then, and you've got the appropriate piece of kit? Can you not phone Ticketmaster up and order some tickets?
All online. So Ticketmaster, for those that are wanting tickets, do this right now. Well, after the podcast.
Yeah, after the podcast.
You need to, if you've not already got one, set yourself a Ticketmaster account up. There's an app on your mobile, or there is a website. Just Google Ticketmaster and it'll come up. You need to either download the app or go through the website, set yourself an account up. It just saves you doing it tomorrow when you want to buy your tickets. It's not going to be a sellout, but if you want to get tickets in a specific place, then you need to be on it quite quickly.
See, I do like it in some respects, because you'll be able to choose where you sit. You'll be able to sit with your friends and stuff like that. Whereas before, it's it was all depending on which window you went to, and very much having to go together. Although there will be a few supporters, Clive, that'll be a little bit disappointed that they can't go to the club itself and buy the tickets, because not everybody's got the internet. But it's the modern day we live in.
Well, it may well be, but I and I don't want to come over as a grumpy old fart here, but the thing is, there are a lot of people out there that are not internet savvy. They're in a cash culture. They don't actually use credit cards and debit cards routinely. They certainly don't have a phone which they can use to transact on in a way that they feel left out and if you like, out of the group. And I would hate to think that somebody that wanted to go to watch this game felt unable to go because they couldn't access tickets. And I think it's a sad reflection of society if you do that, But there again, that's me wandering off onto my grumpy old man phase. I'm okay with it, and if anybody's struggling with it, I'm more than happy to help out with things for people. But I think by comparison, the SSA have said, well, we're going to be selling tickets for this game because otherwise it'll be chaos when the coaches are being loaded, and they're going to do them through the club shop, and they're going to have their surgeries in Sandy Pates as well. So they can do no more, and I think they recognise that a lot of their clients, a lot of their regular travellers, like the old-fashioned ideal around.
Just for clear and clarity emphasis, that is travel tickets.
That's travel tickets only, yeah.
Not a match ticket for those.
No, this is simply your right to use the SSA coach.
Yes.
And it means they won't be collecting money on the day on the coach. It'll all be done up front, as it were.
Yes.
Which, when you consider they're going to have to order more coaches than they would normally do and speculate quite a lot of money, it's right that should be done in that way.
And then you look at it also from a ticketing point of view, the carnage that it caused just getting playoff tickets for the home leg and then the away leg, and all the hassle that everybody had having to queue for hours and hours and hours and hours.
But that was directly down to the fact there was a very limited number of tickets.
Yes, but also because it was the club dealing with it itself, whereas anything that's at Wembley, no matter who it's for, no matter what promoter, Wembley only deal through Ticketmaster. So there is I think it's a £2.30 admin charge on the thing, but it essentially it means that the club don't have to worry, because it's basically the EFL have gone, hey, you don't have to deal with the tickets. Wembley deals with it.
And put your feet up, basically.
Yeah. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yes, people might struggle with it, but there is plenty. It's like,
I'm going to play devil's advocate. Here's what probably would be a good idea. Would be, because obviously we're all saying, we'd be happy to help people if they're struggling to get a ticket online or they don't have the capacity to do that. What the club should do is the club should potentially offer to do that. So if somebody did want to get a ticket, they could then go to the club shop, and the club shop staff would be happy to do it for them. But I guess that's another point for another time. Nathan, I'm going to come back to you, making sure that you're not falling asleep, because obviously we can't see you. Let's go back a little bit to last night and the I suppose, I don't know, unexpected celebrations in the end. Maybe we're all being a bit pessimistic before the game, but
all of us.
Yeah, all right. Maybe me more than some others. But to be fair, Nath, last night we got the job done, and as a Stags fan, it's just amazing, isn't it, to see the journey that we've been on, this position that we're now in, to be able to be sitting here talking about getting a ticket to go to Wembley rather than missing out.
It's insane, really. I mean, first of all, last night you say getting a job done. I'm not quite as pessimistic as you, but I certainly didn't expect a clean sheet. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, and I thought it was going to be, I was having to outscore them really. So to win in that manner was superb, and a bit of a different Mansfield that we've not really seen for a long time. So it's reassuring to see that we can do that sort of game, but as in a more general term for the whole season, as we keep mentioning, to go from where we were, end of October time, well, at Northampton, to where we are now, and to actually, with a few games left, to even be with a shout of automatics as well. I think it's just you got to applaud what they've all managed to do, and I think hopefully in the future, if we do hit rough patches, it might level people out a little bit more, not get them to panic as much as we know they can do. A rough patch can just be that, a rough patch. It's not, you don't have to self-destruct and fire the trigger on managers. Bit of longevity and patience can pay off here.
Yeah, patience is a virtue. I think I've shown enough patience now to go back to Alan Wilson to do this.
Oh.
Don't get us kicked off of copyright.
Don't worry, Craig. You'll be the first one to get the centerpiece.
Oh, dear. Well, I've got the music ready for you, mate. So it has to be the Marc Cohen version, and but I've got the music ready. Me and Cam will edit it all together. Utilize his skills a little bit. We'll put some commentary in there. I think we've got to make this happen. We said it as a joke, but I think we've actually got to make it happen, haven't we?
I'm quite happy to have a go. But
I'll be a backing singer.
Yeah,
I'm not really averse 100% with the song, so I will get it downloaded, listen to the song, and then I'll be able to put the lyrics to it, and then I'll leave it to your lads.
Alan, get it blasting out on the bin wagon.
Yeah.
On the bin wagon, everywhere you go, and everybody will be singing it with you. And before you know where you are, it'll be in your head.
Absolutely. It is one of those that does get in your head a little bit. But
It's my bin collections tomorrow. So if I wake up at 6:30 a.m. to walking in with all these blokes singing and walking in Memphis outside my room, waking up my child, there's going to be trouble. Or I'm going to join in. I don't know which.
Alan,
no biscuits, Nathan. It's round 1 tomorrow, not round 3.
Alan, no biscuits in the lyric either on this one.
There won't be any biscuits. Can I just say,
put a biscuit in there, like. If you can get John Joe likes what was John Joe's favourite biscuit? Oh yeah, chocolate hobnobs. If you get John Joe likes chocolate hobnobs and not caravans, that'd be great. But can
I just go back, Craig, and pick on Cam's expertise here? If I go to Ticketmaster and I want to buy, let's say, 4 tickets, and I do it on my phone, then they send me the digital ticket to my phone, and then I just waggle that in front of a scanner at the stadium when I go in through the turnstile. That's fine. What about the other 3 people I've bought tickets for? Do I have to keep passing my phone back, or can we do printed tickets? Yeah. You've used Ticketmaster quite clearly. You must have used them because you feel very confident about it.
With Wembley's ticket scanners, they're not a square scanner that like sits outside of a unit. It's like an insert where you put your
I've seen
excellent, Craig. Excellent.
There you go.
I've seen them at all the games.
You don't need to do that.
You literally,
that's what I've just done.
Your barcode will be on a ticket, and you shove it in. It's simple,
like that.
Quality.
But it's quite simple. You can, as far as I'm aware, transfer it to other people, but it's just a case of you might just have to keep passing your phone back,
or you can print them off. It creates an individual barcode for
as long as it can be printed off. I think most people who are a bit locked in the analog world, like some people I can think of, they would feel more comfortable. They've got something tangible in their hand that they can show.
We'll look after you.
It's not like you young people smirking at us old folk. That's the reality. I'm going to have to take my granddaughter with me if I need to get through these turnstiles quite clearly.
Don't worry, we'll look after you, and we'll make sure Wembley have a parking space for your horse and carriage as well. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
And on that note, I think we should bring this rambling nonsense to its natural conclusion. Of course, we will be back later in the week for a full-on Wembley preview podcast. We'll head inside the dressing room and hear from those inside the Stags camp. We'll get your views as well. We may even have some special content for you as well from former players. Stay tuned to your podcast feeds tomorrow, by the way, because one of my heroes is doing a little bit of a thing. We recorded it later on. It's that guy there. It's that one. That's the one. We'll have a little bit from him tomorrow as well. We'll have some extra content coming your way all throughout the week. So make sure.
Can I just say
to Mansfield
that was useless. That was useless to me and to everyone that's actually listening on podcast only.
Yeah, but if you know me, you know who I was referring to. So if you had to have a guess at who I was referring to, who would you say?
Well, it's one of 2, but I'm going to probably say Neil McKenzie.
Well, there you go. So you do.
Well, that's because I know you, unfortunately, but not everybody. But this is a Wembley emergency podcast. We're going to have new listeners. Just thinking about those out there. Come on, sort it out.
Well, listen, I've got to go and feed the horse for my horse and cart in a minute, Nathan. Can I just say, in all sincerity, I hope your bum heals up all right.
Cheers.
and here's another useless piece of visual gesturing.
Clive, this is a family show. Please keep.
But Jason can't see that.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, but he'll know exactly what you did. Let's leave it there. You two can have an argument.
Luckily, you can't see what I'm doing back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you are tenfold as well. Alan, if you've got your note, I'm sure you got a piece of paper halfway through that, didn't you? Anyway, to start scribbling. Yeah, he's even started some lyrics. Have you got some lyrics already?
Yes.
Right, come on.
No.
One line.
Not until it's ready.
Yeah, I'm with Alan.
Please, one line.
You've got to keep the people waiting.
Not until it's ready.
Oh, Alan Wilson.
I keep you on tenterhooks.
You are an absolute tease. You're also a legend, as is Clive, as is Nathan. Cam's all right sometimes as well.
I will just say, Craig, you know, obviously, if the fans are going to get it on board and sing it down Wembley way, whatever, it's got to be short and sweet. It's not going to be too long.
Yeah, we're not going to make it a full-on song, but we'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do a short version which people can sing.
Yeah.
And we'll do a full version with stuff edited in, like commentary, crowd chants.
Yeah.
We'll even edit in the version. We'll get it sorted. Anyway, my thanks to Alan, my thanks to Clive, my thanks to the injured stag Nathan Edge, my thanks to Cam Felton as well, my thanks to you guys at home for watching, for sharing what has been a rambling mess of a podcast. There's only one way to end this show, really, and it's by clicking this button right here and reminiscing over just under 24 hours ago, when I'm not sure if you heard or not, but Mansfield Town booked their place at Wembley. Good night.
Troll wins it in the midfield for Mansfield. 4 for Akins. Needs to find a pass. Here is Stephen Quinn. Stephen Quinn will be onside. Shoot it though, he's onside. Ball into a Get in there! Get in there! Lead! Here at Stephen Quinn was in enough. What a goal! But Elliot Kiwi wasn't. Stayed onside. Rolling into the middle. Northampton 0. Stags 1.
Terrific from JJ there. Absolutely brilliant. Into Atkins. Atkins put a stripped ball through. Quinn was offside, and intelligently he left it. Hewitt, who was one side, got onto it, pulled the ball back, and Mac made the run across, and that's why I think he's the best attacking left back in this league. And what a great finish, and what a position this puts in. This has come from us calming the game down, taking the sting out the game. Absolutely fantastic. What a great time to score. Now it's important. Now it's important for the next 10 minutes that we are solid.
That's it! That's up to Wembley! Mansfield Town have done it! They've beaten Northampton Town by 3 goals to 1 on aggregate. Book your tickets! The Stags are going to Wembley! Come on!